All right, folks, you're about to get busy with Lonzo and Dusty. This is how we do it every Tuesday, y'all. And every Tuesday, I say the same thing every time, folks. And it goes a little something like this, y'all. Here we go. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything in between, folks. From Eve After Dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy, Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip-hop. And my main man, Dusty Vision. He's in the dugout, warming up, getting ready to come on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
What up, Dusty One? How you doing, Doc?
Doing good, man. Loving that intro music, man.
Man, thank you, Doc. I gotta have my old school sometime. I just bring back memories for a brother. You know, I'm gonna do some more intros. I'm working on one for me and Dre right now, but that's one of my favorite songs. As far as dynamic intros, oh man, you could do magic on that sumbitch right there, boy.
Man. Yo, the chat room was already lighting up. What up, King D? Says, let me pour my drink. My favorite podcast is on. That means it's time to go. Let's do it.
Do this.
Lot to talk about, man. I mean, this week is crazy. A lot to talk about. But I guess the biggest story, the one that's been trending the most this week, is WAP 100. Are you familiar with his recent comments about Nipsey Hussle?
Man, I've been hearing what he's been saying. I hadn't really paid no attention. I ain't got time to be on a Clubhouse all day.
Okay,
man.
Let me break it down for you because I don't have Clubhouse either. I have YouTube, so I just listen on YouTube. But WAP 100 is claiming that he has a sex tape involving Nipsey Hussle, and Nipsey Hussle is engaging in some homosexual activities in this gay sex tape, and everybody's talking about it. What are your general thoughts on it?
Man, he better be careful with that one, Doc. He better be careful because a lot of people love Nipsey Hussle. I can't say what a man will or will not do, but some things you need to leave alone, Doc. Because if it ain't true, somebody gonna put a target on your head, and if it is true, you're gonna break a lot of hearts. And sometimes people don't get mad at the fact that they thought something. They get mad at you for bringing it to light because now you crash. You are destroying everything I thought. Okay, you were destroying everything I thought, and I'm gonna be pissed at you. I won't be pissed at Nipsey for doing what he did. If that's the case, they'll be more pissed at him for exposing it.
That's true, man. And a lot of people are saying that WAP 100 can't even come back to LA. I don't know how true that is. I'm just hearing that on a lot of YouTube channels.
You know, he's almost like a different version of your boy Charleston White. He keeps up a lot of controversy going, and it's not that much controversy out there, but some people find controversy. This is a very high-profile, controversial subject that folks it's gonna spread like wildfire, whether it's true or false, and that right there, man, dude, it ain't worth it, dude. It's not worth the hassle, man. It's not worth it. I mean, you got to look over your back look over your shoulder everywhere you go and watch your back. That's why I never wanted to be a gangbanger because it's too much living like a deer. It's like being a deer in hunting seasons. You always got to have your head on the swivel, man. Come on, dude. Life's too short for that already. Come on.
Yeah, facts, man. And he's putting a lot of energy in that air that I hope it doesn't end bad because, like you said, a lot of people love Nipsey Hussle, dude.
Right.
Yeah, man. Well, let's talk about something else, and please chime down below. What are your thoughts on WAP 100's recent comments on Nipsey Hussle?
The chat room is having a ball with him. Called him Crater Face. Crater Face.
Yeah, man. Funky Things Production says it's all distraction. The Will Smith thing is a distraction. Chris Rock was a distraction because there has been over 20 food processing plants mysteriously burned down and nobody's speaking on it. I mean, we're always good for some conspiracy theories, but not
20 food processing plants burned down? That didn't make the news. Nowhere is my first time hearing about it.
Same. I have to check that out. Shout out to Isaiah Edwards. Happy birthday, Playboy.
Much love to you, Doc. Happy birthday, man.
Wait, Lonzo, he says he's 23 years old. Do you have any advice for him, he says?
Man, no matter what you do, always be you. And don't stop learning. Whatever you do, do not get comfortable with your information, your knowledge, and stop learning because things change every day. And you'll look up at 25, you won't even be relevant. You won't have no idea what's going on because you stop someplace. It ain't what you go through, it's where you stop at. Keep learning, Doc. Keep learning.
I love that, Lonzo. I refuse to be, and this is why I respect, one of the reasons I respect you is because I refuse to be an older person who doesn't keep up with technology. I know people your age who literally do not know how to create an email. They just, and they refuse to learn.
Right. I got a couple of buddies like that, man. Will not come over here for me to email. But I can't keep on doing this. I got stuff to do, Doc. But it's, technology changes so fast. And I mean, I'm struggling with cryptocurrencies. Okay. I'm learning. I'm trying to understand this. NFTs, blockchains, cryptocurrencies. I've learned over the years to be aware of new things in the beginning. Let some of that dust settle, because a lot of scam artists out there, especially in cryptocurrency. So if some things ain't going nowhere, email ain't going nowhere. Okay. Facebook ain't going nowhere. Instagram ain't going nowhere. Elon Musk just spent $46 million on Twitter. Why he did that, I don't know, but he did it. So that means it ain't going nowhere. So understand, some things you just got. You may not participate on a regular basis. I don't have time to participate in Clubhouse like people want me to. I'll be going there maybe once or twice a month. I don't have 2 or 3 hours to sit there and just listen to people have conversations about something that may or may not be pertinent to what I'm doing. So I'm aware of it. I've been on there before. I was just on there a couple of weeks ago with Dr. Dre. He did an episode. He invited me on there. But just some things, even as a grown man, my time won't allow me to participate in the way some people do. Man. Don't be afraid of it. It's not difficult. I mean, sometimes you just need to have a channel, a page, whatever the case may be, and just be aware of what's going on. You better be aware of every nuance, every nook and cranny of the program. Just make yourself familiar with it. You never know.
Facts, man. And if I could give Isaiah some advice, being that I'm about twice your age, my advice to you, Isaiah, is do not get someone pregnant until you get to your dream, until you are close, or at least close to your dream. Be smart with your semen, be smart with your condoms, all that, because I've seen guys, very talented dudes, man, just throw their life away because they keep getting chicks pregnant. My advice.
Oh, hold on. I was trying to be nice. Isaiah, what Dusty just told you is probably one of the best things he said in a long time. You're talking to a guy who had a kid at 18 years old. I didn't have another kid till I was almost 40. It was a different time. And I had my daughter straight out of high school. She was born the day before I graduated. I was a daddy already. Now, when I crossed the stage and got my diploma, I was already a daddy. Okay. That's a pressure that you don't want to have if you can avoid it. If you don't already have no kids, I'm telling you, I call it baby batter. But keep that baby batter in a situation where only you can control it. Because once you give it to her, it's now hers. What she does with it can cost you for the next 18 years. Trust me, Doc. And I don't know what you look like. I never saw you before, but a lot of women make decisions for your life with your baby batter that based on, oh, he's so cute. He got green eyes. He got curly hair. He dark skinned. He light skinned. His daddy got money. His mama got money. He live over here. No, his car does this right here. Okay. So sometimes people make decisions, life-changing decisions based on some superficial bullshit. But at the end, you still got to take care of this third person. And in some cases, both of them. So as a grown-ass man who's been there, done that, I love my daughter to death. That's one of my best friends, talk to on a regular basis. But that was 1975, okay? It's 2022, and the game has changed tremendously. It's geared for you not to win. I was able to win. My child support back then was $33 every 2 weeks, okay? $33 every 2 weeks, okay? So it's a lot different now. It's an anchor around your leg on the way to trying to run a successful marathon, Doc. It's hard to run a marathon with an anchor around your ankle. That's all I'm saying.
There it is. Hit that organ, Lonzo. Hit that organ, dog.
Organ. One more organ. Hold on. Other page. I got a bunch of I got a bunch of them now, man. Oh shit. Hold on there. I'm gonna hit the laughter right there. So fellas, all y'all. If you don't have no kids, be careful with that, man. Be careful with that, folks. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. It's
It is.
it ain't nobody, it ain't no joke. And everybody, oh, that's so beautiful. Till you got to pay for it. When you got to pay for it, it's a whole different sermon, Doc. It's a whole different thing. When your paycheck is being deducted, you can't do what you want to do because you got a commitment that you didn't really ask for. But somebody gave it to you. Somebody gave you a gift that you didn't ask for, but you got to pay the bill. Don't ask me how I know. I've been there. All right. That's my point for the day.
There you go, man. Let's move on, Lonzo. You sent me a photo of a couple of people in prison, a couple of males in prison. I'll say males with quotes.
Yeah.
Just having a good old time. And the caption read something along the lines of, having so much fun, I don't even want to come home. Some shit like that.
Right.
It seems like people are having a lot of talk to me. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
When I saw that, man, it just fell in line with something else I've been seeing for a while. You know, a lot of guys have phones in jail. They have videos in jail, and guys are partying. In some cases, look at they partying, which takes the stigma off of going to jail. Okay, now one of the big fears of going to jail, at least in my era, was that you was going to get caught, you know, not having heterosexual sex. And with the world changing to where it is right now, if you can have a relationship, a homosexual relationship in public, in outside of jail, when you have options, and it's okay. I guess in jail, when your options are very limited, it's even probably more acceptable. And what we saw a homeboy with some prison titties, and he was booed up. Okay,
prison titties.
He was in love. And I know YouTube might not like me saying that, but I got to keep it 100. He was in love. He appeared to be happy. They was all hugged up and booed up and whatever the case may be. And to each his own, man, to each his own. You know, and I just realized that there's certain things that are acceptable outside of that system, inside that system is probably even, not even, I ain't gonna say frowned upon, but if it's okay outside, it must be okay inside. Got to be okay inside. But I heard it's not. I ain't been to find out myself, but I understand it's not okay inside. It's not okay inside. And you can get written up for certain situations inside. But yet still, based on what you're dealing with, how do you write somebody up for something that's legal outside? Why is it illegal inside? That's going to be a little difficult. That's going to take some understanding on my part. Help me understand.
Yeah. And as you know, and some people out there know, every Sunday I do a phone call with one of my friends, Perry Thompson, who's serving life in prison right now. And we talk about the raw, gritty, the dirty about prison to hopefully deter kids from thinking that it's cool. And we just talked about this, last week. And he said, amongst the inmates, it's becoming a lot more accessible. And he said that dudes out here, big homie, 250 pounds, right? He said when he gets behind bars, he's busting cheeks and switching up and doing the little homie.
I had a friend of mine who used to come to the Eve back in the day, disappeared for a while. I ran into him. I said, man, where you been? Oh, man, I've been working up north. I'm a prison guard. Okay, cool. I said, how you like the job? Man, I said, I used to love it, man, because back then it was a different kind of code. So what you mean? He says, back then I knew guy I was working, he was a big dude. He worked on level 4. He said, I worked on level 4 yard. I knew guys that been in there, was doing 15, 20 years. They never conformed to anything other than, a certain macho lifestyle. They didn't go to, they didn't do nothing. They have no other form of release. It was self-service back then, put it that way. They self-service for 18, 19, 20 years, okay? He says, as I got older, I started moving down to different levels, and I started seeing cats with 2 years, 18 months come out of orientation, booed up. And I'm like, huh? He said, yeah, man, the cats ain't got no real time. And before they can even get out of orientation, they over there arguing and fighting over over, different guys or whatever the case may be. And he said, what's really hard for me is I have to be careful how I address them. If I see them doing something, he said, used to be a time I could say something crazy, get up off your knees, blah, 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 blah. He said, now I have to speak to them very, very carefully because I could get written up. He said, that for me to have to be, that could watch somebody commit a crime that you say is a crime in jail, but if I don't address it properly in a PC manner, I can find myself in trouble. It's not worth the hassle. It's too confusing. So he said, I'm retiring, man. And that's what he did.
Wow. That makes a lot of sense, dude. Wow. Keep it up, chat room. Post those questions. I'm copying and everything.
What's up with you folks? Black Stag, what's up with you?
Now, yeah.
Before I move, man, I got to share something with my folks right quick. I was working on this right here, and I got everybody know I got my different products, and I'm trying to figure out how to do this properly. This is my T-shirt, Eve After Dark T-shirt, but I realized I can't control. It's on a PowerPoint, but I can't control it from where it is right now. Anyway, that's a T-shirt. I got some other stuff I'm working on. I'm doing the Father's Day event, folks. If you guys, any of y'all in the LA area, June 18th, which is also one of my birthdays. We'll talk about that later. I'm doing a Father's Day event in Compton at Dollar High Center. It's free. Me and the mayor, Emma Sharif, hooked up my organization, the Lyrical Revolution, and Emma Sharif, the mayor of Compton, doing a Father's Day event to show some love for dads. I'm a Father's Day kid. I was born on Father's Day, been heavily influenced by dads, multiple dads in my life. And I just think the dads don't get a fair shake. And I want to do something for the dads. And that's what I'm doing on Father's Day. Following that, on Monday, I'm doing a golf tournament in Lakewood, California. Anybody out there play golf? Anybody know anybody play golf? Well, I'm looking for golfers for Monday morning, June 21st, Lakewood Country Club. It's going down, folks. It's a Father's Day weekend, having some fun. And I was told by my editor and producer of the Eve After Dark documentary, we may be doing a screening at my Father's Day event. So I'm looking forward to it, folks. It's going to be a big weekend. I'll be 65 on my birthday, folks. God damn. Dude, that shit go by so fast, man. I tell you.
No.
It go by so fast, dude. It go by fast.
Man. Well, hey, you look great, man. You're still sharp. You're sharper than most 65-year-old people I know. So keep up whatever you're doing, dude.
The walks, baby. Keep that walk. I keep walking, Doc. I keep walking. And I be tired of something, but I keep on walking 5 miles every day, dude. 10,000 steps, baby. 10,000.
Yep. Keep it up, man. What, Trip, before we move on, Trip on this. I was at a concert this past weekend, old school hip hop concert. Shout out to Mellow Man Ace. I got a chance to see him backstage, and that's a guy you want to reach out when it comes to golf. He's a great golfer.
Oh yeah, with my boy. Yeah. He was in my last tournament. He played.
There you go.
Yeah, he played.
But it was a trip, Lonzo, because it was a long concert. It was about 4 hours. I damn near broke my hip dancing all night, but it was so much fun, man. Such good vibes. But I would say 90% of the acts that performed that night had some sort of connection to you. I mean, JJ Fad was there. 2 Live Crew was there. Mary Jane Girl. There was just so many people that were there. And everybody else I was like, Lonzo, the Candyman. Second to none. Like, Candyman killed it, by the way. I was very, very impressed by his show. It was a trip, man. I felt very honored to be part of your show, knowing that 80 to 90% of the acts that I watched that night were somehow connected to you.
This is the Long Beach show, right?
Yep.
Unknown was there. I didn't make it. I was taping the show here. I was doing a project here at the house. I couldn't make it, but he sent me.
Rodney and Joe Cooley. So keep going. Aladdin, like a lot of.
Montana Max, I see you, baby. Much love to you. Thank you very much. Unknown sent me Arabian sent me the schedule of who was performing, how long they were performing. I'm looking at it, 15 minutes, 8:15, 8:16 to 8:31. I'm like, God damn. So everybody is doing the maximum show, the maximum length of a show was 30 minutes. I think that was Digital Underground. Okay. I made some phone calls, man. I called Clientele. I called Yella yesterday, and dude, we got to get back on the road, man. Yella.
Dude, you guys need to, bro. Now, nostalgic acts are making way more money than you guys.
I called our agent this morning. I'm looking for somebody to rep us, to get us on some of these shows. 15 minutes. I got a hot 15, baby. I got a hot 15. Okay. Yellow's coming in. If we do it, when we do it, it's gonna be World Class Wrecking Crew featuring DJ Yella of NWA. I'm giving y'all some upfront, top secret, aim out shit yet. And Yella's gonna do songs from NWA. Me and Clientele. Yella gonna do Surgery Juice, Cabbage Patch, Lovers, and Turn Off the Lights. And Yella's gonna do a set of NWA songs. And we out. So you get the best of both worlds. You get all that. You get World Class Wrecking Crew and a member of NWA. And we out in 25 minutes or less. Okay, so. That's what I'm looking for, folks. That's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna start calling promoters myself to make them. Hey. You can't get Cube, you can't get Dre, but you can get Yella and the World Class Wrecking Crew. All right. So yeah,
that's so dope. I predict by this time next year you will be touring constantly. It will be a constant thing because I was tripping out. You know the dude who sings "Come on, shake it, come on, shake." That motherfucker killed the crowd. He blew the crowd up like I was like, I forgot his name. Yeah, exactly.
Is MC Shan?
Something like that, Shandy or Shan, something like that. Yeah.
Unknown was telling me, he talked to him backstage. He said, "Man," he said, "I'm 56 years old. This shit's kicking my ass. I'm having a ball though." And people don't realize everybody on that stage got an ARP card. Everybody. JJ Fad, second to none. Everybody qualifies. If they don't have one, they qualify for an ARP card, baby.
You know who was looking.
Thank you, American Negro.
You know who was looking amazing? Amazing. And I don't know if she's the original member, but if she is, she looks. Is she the female from Club Nouveau?
Oh, if it ain't Val, it ain't the original.
Oh well, whoever they got now, I was like, oh, I could not keep my eyes off of her. She was so beautiful. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
J King, that's my boy. Talk to him all the time. We came up together, man. We all came up together. We all had the same managers and road managers. Started off at McCullough. Great dude, very influential in the city of Sacramento. That's where he lives, and he is one of my inspirations. He's a couple years younger than me, but I watch him. He has a radio show. He's very active in politics. He got time to hit the stage once or twice a week, once or twice a month. I ain't mad. Black Stag said, "What's an ARP card?" Black Stag, an ARP card is a card that you get once you turn 50 years old. When you turn 50 years old, they give you back up. When you turn 48 and a half, they start hitting your mailbox. I don't know how they know how to call you. I don't know if they connect you with the Social Security company, the Social Security office or what, but you turn 49 and a half years old. AARP, the American Association for Retired People, which most people ain't retired at 50, but they start calling you, and basically the card gives you a lot of discounts. Once you turn 50, 55 years old, there's various stages of getting old, okay? 50, you get the AARP card. 55, you can live in senior citizen places. Those are ones that they're nice buildings, lower income, but in most cases, you can't have no kids live there. When you get 62, you can get your Social Security check. You can get it. They're gonna ding you though. Okay. When you get 65, you start getting Medicare, stuff like that. When you get 72, you get all your money, but you might be too tired or too broke down to spend it. So a lot of folks is cashing in. In fact, I was talking to my buddy yesterday. We were playing golf. He said he's about to cash in on the Social Security. He said this has been 1957. The people born in 1957 had the highest rate of early retirement, far as getting their money and taking whatever the 20%, whatever the ding is you get for taking your money early. Because 65, you get most of your money, but most folks, I ain't doing nothing. Give it here. It ain't that much of a difference. It is and it isn't, depending on how much you got coming. But yeah, that's what ARP does. It's like a club, like auto club for old people. You get discounts on glasses, phones, all kinds of stuff, folks.
McDonald's coffee, all that shit.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
when you get old, people start showing you some love and shit. Okay.
That's funny.
Wait. I love when they ask you for my ID though. Mister, I'm sorry, sir. You got to be at least 60 years old. Nigga, I got you covered. Are you? Yes, I am. Okay, well, thank you.
Nice.
That makes me feel good. Okay.
That's the best compliment right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. My best compliment is you don't look like you have a 23-year-old. Little do they know I started really early. But that's a whole other story. All right, so this coming up, we've talked about this in the past, but since the anniversary is here, let's talk about it a little. I know you have stories about it. April 29th, 1992, 30 years ago. In a couple of days, we will be experiencing the 30-year anniversary of the Los Angeles riots. Talk to me. Let's go back before the riots even started. You know, when you saw the tape of Rodney King being beat, what were your, thoughts, and then how did it progress? Talk to me about your whole seeing it progress from there.
Man, the vibe of the city, everybody was all eyes on that trial. When they showed the beating on the news, and then they started doing the trial. It was like that was one of the first times I ever just locked down and watched something. Just didn't do nothing else but watch that trial most of the time. And when they came back with a not guilty verdict, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I remember like it was yesterday. Hold on. Let me find. Let me get the right effect for y'all. Hold on there. Hold on. I remember like yesterday. I was at the tire shop. I was buying some tires. I had a van then. I was buying some tires, and I just bought the tires and went over to my cousin's house who lived around the corner. And while I was at his house, the shit on Florence and Normandy was jumping off. Okay, it was going down. I'm like, damn. First thing I'm joking to myself, damn. If I'd have waited, I could have got them tires for free. Okay, and I started coming home a couple of hours later after I left my cousin's house, and you start seeing pockets of smoke everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I got home again, and dude, now on the way home, you start hearing the ambulances and the fire trucks, and it got a cloud of smoke over the city. When I got home, it was like, damn. As a survivor of the 1965 riots, I was 10 years old. That riot right there, my dad, he was asked to go looting. He wouldn't go. Okay, my old man wouldn't do nothing. He said, I don't do that. I ain't stealing shit. Blah 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 blah. I didn't participate in the looting. My brother did though. My brother was out there doing this thing. Okay, and he came back. He said, "Man, I have never seen the Crips and the Bloods get along so much like this in all my life." What you mean, man? He said, "Man, they were brothers was breaking into stores, and they'd be in the parking lot exchanging shoes and shoe sizes and shit. Right? Warehouse shoe stores, they was in all of them. Okay, they closed them gates down. The brothers went down to the rental place. They got them big ass the fire department saws with the big blades on them. They was cutting pyramid shaped holes in the doors and going shopping. Okay, when they came out, they was in the parking lot. Crips, Bloods, SAs didn't make no difference. Everybody was out there exchanging shoe sizes. They were just grabbing shoes. They were changing sizes outside. In fact, it got so bad, they ran up in the AM/PM not far from my house. My brother said they got all the good stuff. All the beer was gone, but they was outside exchanging ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise and shit, right? Bread and tortilla buns, whatever the case may be. And shortly after that, I think the city was on fire for about 3 or 4 days. And I took a ride down Vermont, not far from where I live around Vermont. And I started seeing all the stores that had been burnt down. But also, I got to go back for a second because I watched the news because I didn't really go nowhere during the riots itself. But I watched the news, and the news was almost telling people where to go. and you see a reporter. This is so and so and so and so for Channel 7 News. We're on the corner of Slauson in Vermont, and there is a store here, and there's not a cop anywhere, and people are having a field day. They're just running in here, they're looting, and we're on the corner of Crenshaw and so, and there's not a cop anywhere. So the cops, the police, the news was literally telling people where the action was, and the police weren't. I'm listening to this shit, right? And then shortly after that, that's when I made my little roll through the hood survey. And I saw so many businesses that had burnt down. But now the problem is, where you going to shop at? Where you going to get your clothes at? Now, because it still was high tension, folks was tripping. You just can't run your ass down to Gardena or Torrance. They don't trust your black ass now. I don't know what you're going to do. In fact, I was over on La Cienega and MLK Boulevard. There was a Target there. I ran out of gas. And I had to get. I kept my gas gauge in my van at that time didn't really work that well, so I ran out of gas. And I'm walking to the gas station to get some gas. And homeboy wouldn't sell me no gas. He wouldn't sell me no gas. He, oh, no fire. No. I said, man, I'm trying to get my ass home. So I had to give money to another brother that was buying gas to put in the can, so I can put gas in the can, put in my truck to come back and get this same dude some money so I can get home. It was like that, dude. But I tell you something, for me, that changed my life. During those riots, I was asked to come on Continental Cable at that time over in Compton to do a show with some gang folks. There was a big truce. It was a big truce between the Bloods and the Crips. We had a couple of events trying to bring that unity together. I started doing not a podcast, but a public access show. And the catch of the show was it had to be live. It couldn't be pre-recorded. They had plenty of pre-recorded shows. They wanted somebody to host a show live on Compton Cable, and I took the class, and they offered the slot to me. No money involved, but every Thursday from 6 to 7:30, I hosted a show on Continental TV in Compton, and that's why I do my show now. That's why I don't even like doing pre-recorded shows. I've gotten so used to doing live shows, I don't even know how to do a pre-recorded show. So that started my career in live broadcasting. Before streaming, YouTube wasn't on YouTube. And when they finally went out of business and they stopped doing public access in 2008, live streaming was just coming around. YouTube, if it was around, it wasn't even that popular yet. I couldn't do what I was doing. They told us it was going to be down for 90 days. And that was 2008. They never brought it back again. But meanwhile, my boy Willie Moe was he was a part of my show. And I'm just saying, these are the kind of things that affected people's lives. We had a big event over at Magic Johnson Park. We had about, there's about 6,000-7,000 Bloods over there, Bloods and Crips, all ages, it was like the Warriors, dude. It was like being a part of the Warriors. I'm not bullshitting. You had people from all different sets, and wasn't nobody tripping but the police. The police was out there with cameras. They were out there harassing folks. And that was just one of many events that was done to promote unity. And after some of the other events, I only went to the one at Magic Johnson Park, but some of the other events, my boys who was part of the organizing team for doing that, so they did some other events. And after they would leave the event, they'd hear gunshots. Okay, nobody got shot, but they hear gunshots. Okay, and in the news, I remember the news very well. Man, they would say stuff like, it's today is day 3 of the so-called gang truce. Let's see how long this lasts. I mean, just sarcastic shit like that. Dude, I wish I would have recorded that shit. It was like, day 5 of the truce. Okay, looking pretty good so far, we think. This kind of stuff. And then when something finally jumped off, well, that's the end of that. Okay. I mean, this is the attitude of the Channel 11, Channel 7. I'm watching this stuff, man. I'm watching like, damn. And I think I said this before in another related subject. I'm going to say it again. I knew a guy, my dad knew had a friend that owned a funeral home in Linwood. He came by my dad's house. They used to work together. And how's it going, man? Oh, man, it's tough. These niggas ain't killing each other. These niggas and Mexicans ain't killing each other no more. I'm about to go out of business. So, and he said that. I'm sitting there going, you would think, you forget that a funeral home is a basic business. Without no dead bodies, ain't nobody to bury. And, that was a big part of his business, the gang activity. And when you think about all the other money that's generated from gang activity, you understand why it's been going on for 50 years. It's a big money business. Nobody wants to say that, but it's big money in gang banging. You don't make it. We don't get it, but it's money generated. I was on a panel, a peace panel a few weeks ago, and one of the guys says one murder generates $1 million. It's $1 million between the police department, the coroner's office, the DA's department, whatever hospitals are involved, ambulance. Look, think about this. When somebody gets shot, you got about 20, 25 cops just standing around the perimeter with their hands in their pockets, protecting the investigating deputies. They're going to be out there for at least 12 to 18 hours. The average cop make about $75 an hour. Think about it. The average cop make about $75 an hour. Okay? Not to mention overtime. And they sitting there on the car with their hands on their guns, rocking back and forth, trying to stay awake. They're not doing nothing. They're just making sure nobody crossed that yellow tape. The detectives are doing all the work. The photographers come out there. The coroner comes out there. Then that body got to go to the doggone to the coroner's office. They got to do an autopsy most times. All that right there. The county's being built money for that. Okay, so a lot of jobs are being done with this. Not to mention the job security you provide when you go to the penitentiary. Somebody get caught. That's jobs. Every person that gets a life sentence or 25 to life. That's 25 years. Somebody got to watch your ass. That's why they privatized the shit. It was good money. Okay, that's why they privatize stuff like that. They take the burden off the state. They build the prisons, take the money off the burden off the state. Say they got to build no prisons. State got an X amount of budget, and their whole job from the time they get that budget is to make that shit as cost effective and profitable as possible. It's not about giving you comfort, education, reform, none of that. It's about making a profit for the stockholders that own the prison stocks. Bottom line, anything else is bullshit. So you wonder why cats go to jail and just as fucked up as they were when they went in. Okay? Because they ain't trying to do nothing but get them to do their time. They got some programs, sure enough. They got a few programs. But most of your programs are when you get out. Ask me how I know, because I work with reentry programs all the time. There's more programs for a cat coming out of jail than there is for a cat keep a guy from going to jail. Real talk, baby. You talk to somebody.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
You're not talking to somebody who's speculating. I'm involved in this. I do this. Okay. When I'm not doing my podcast, I teach podcasting to reentry organizations. I attend the meeting. There's more programs help you get education, clothes, transportation, job. There's more programs to help you get on your feet once you come out of the system than it is to keep you from going to the system. And that right there, I made a comment before. That's a problem right there. That's a problem right there. There's an old song by the Whispers. Y'all can YouTube it. And it's the hook line is, it seems like I got to do wrong for somebody to notice me. Okay. And it's basically the same philosophy. If you have a felony or you go to prison, you can go to college, you can go to high school, get your high school diploma, go to college, you get a book vouchers, you get food vouchers, bus vouchers, place to live, all kind of stuff. But you got to do this first. There are a few programs to help you from doing dumb stuff, but most people don't find out about them till they done some dumb stuff. Real talk.
Man. It's getting super real. These are the conversations I love, man. You know what? Let's keep it on gangbanging and how it's kind of it's big business. A business must be good right now, unfortunately, because LAPD chief is raising the alarm after 34 people were shot in a single week in Los Angeles. The crazy part, something that kind of scared me, was like 25 of these shootings are concentrated in one area in South LA.
What part of LA is that?
I can't remember, but it's south. It's an area. It's South Central, basically.
Okay. Well, dude. You got education issues.
It's part of the game, Lonzo. It's part of the game, right?
It's part of the game. You got education issues. You got historical issues. You got issues that have been plaguing us forever that nobody wants to address. I'm not talking about music promoting gang violence and video games promoting. Oh, that's bullshit. It's all a part. It's not one thing. It's not one drop of rain won't drown your ass, but you get enough drops on your ass, you're gonna drown. Okay, one drop of rain ain't gonna drown you. So no, it ain't just the music. It ain't just this. It ain't just that. But all this shit together, combined together, it's a flood. And you got people that we got the internet and all this other stuff that ain't got no regulations on nothing. People are overwhelmed with this, man. Folks are trying to figure out how they can get money. You got shit going up through the roof. You was improperly educated. Life is going through the roof. Expenses are going through the roof. You don't have the same guidance you used to have. The same morality. Morality is almost an option now. Okay, so it's just one of those situations, man, where folks is under pressure and they don't even know how they don't even know how to express themselves. They do what they got to do.
I know you feel this one. American Negro says, I knew the game was messed up when they took out welding, automotive, woodworking, and agriculture out of high school curriculum.
American Negro, you are absolutely correct. I'm gonna tell you something, American Negro. As a grown ass man, I ain't never took in high school. I had automotive, I had woodworking. I knew how to weld. When I walked out of Vanguard, I could weld. Okay, that was part of my final exam for Vanguard. That's when we had the sticks and you had to spark it and wait for the spark to hit, and so you can see what you're doing because the glasses were so dark. You had that big helmet on your head and you couldn't see out of it, and you couldn't see nothing until that spark hit, and you had to make that bead to make that seam. That's how you got your grade. Based on how that seam looked will determine how you got your grade in that. Or you had the other one where you had the torch. You had to know how to cut and weld with the acetylene torch. Tell me I'm telling you what I know. Okay, I never took I never took any agricultural classes. My daddy taught me all that right there. But I'm gonna say this right here: as a 65-year-old man, all those skills apply right now as a homeowner. Okay, as a homeowner, every one of those skills apply right now. Woodworking, knowing how to measure wood, how to hammer, how to saw. I just got through doing a whole bedroom in one of my bedrooms in my house because I can do it, not because I'm too cheap. I am cheap, but I can do this my damn self. I could lay this floor. I could paint this damn wall. I could hang this TV. I could do what has to be done because I learned years ago in school how to put a shelf up. You got to know how to put a lag up. These things, these simple things, you can go to Home Depot and be able to do. They don't teach you. YouTube is a big help, but it's nothing like being in the classroom where you can make a mistake and somebody can show you, hey, man, that's good, but this is better. Okay? YouTube, if you can get it done, ain't nobody going to correct you. They're just going to show you how to do it. And sometimes they skip a step or two, or you may not have the exact tool or exact situation, but you got something similar, so you try to make it happen. But yeah, all those skills that you just talked about, automotive, changing your oil, changing brakes. My son's car broke down the other night. He called me up. We thought it was a battery. Ain't the battery, it's a starter, okay? Because when you try to jump it, it don't move. If it's moving, but it ain't clicking. When it's clicking, it's a starter. I mean, the battery. When it's moving, but it ain't kicking over, it's usually just I'm sorry, when it's clicking, it's the battery. When it's moving and ain't spinning fast enough, it's usually the starter. Okay, but these are simple things like this. You don't know. They don't want you to know, because if you know, you ain't gonna take that your car to the mechanic and let the mechanic fix it. Used to be a time.
Exactly. Yep.
Used to be a time I put my son's car up on the dog on my, because I got my own rails and everything, and change the starter myself. But at 65 years old, I ain't getting my ass down there. But I'm unfortunately, he don't have them skills, so we haven't done enough of that stuff for me to feel comfortable with him doing that. But I'm just not. I'm teaching him what I can do. Hey, here's how you change your oil. Here's how you hook up your batteries. Here's how you do basic stuff for your car. But again, changing the starter, especially on a Honda, can be a little different.
Yeah. Man, American Negroes kick in some knowledge. He says, I remember when brothers and sisters could come out of high school and get a great job, because they were already trained. Now you have to pay extra money for trade school. What was the program? Was it the Cedar program that you guys had?
Program, baby. I'm a product of that too. Cedar program. That's why I got to check. That's how I got to Caltrans. 11th grade, I was in the Cedar program, and we worked on the freeway with everybody else. I'm putting out cones on the 605 freeway, dodging cars. I'm picking up 50-pound bales of tar, putting them in the little melting trailers so they can do crack sealing. I'm putting out sprinklers in the morning under the Cedar program. There's programs like that now. They don't give you the same amount of hours. Cedar, I worked the whole summer, man, from July right after 4th of July till Labor Day, right before Labor Day. That's my last day, and they hired me later on. I didn't take the job, but they hired me later on.
Why do you think they took programs like that, out of the hood?
Cedar program, and there's another program we had. We had dances. We'd have dances and stuff in the parks. I can't think of it offhand. But all those programs gave us a chance to make some money, and also gave us a chance to interact in different communities. So it minimized the gangbanging factor. Okay, I forgot the name of the program. Because you would go in.
I'll see if I can look it up. Go ahead.
You would go out. You'd be a crew of kids working at Captain of the Park, and they put it in a van or a bus and take you over to Looters or another park, and you got to interact with people. Okay, we played baseball. I lived in the Athens Park district, but I played baseball at Campanella. All my buddies played at Athens, but we would still go play at Athens, and we got to know each other, because we, at some point in time, a lot of these guys that played in Athens they met again in the pros, baby. They met in the pros again. Okay, so all these programs were cut out, and it made the hood segregated, and ain't no money. Okay, and when Reagan came into office, they started. He had this free enterprise shit. Excuse me.
Does the Community Arts Academy sound familiar?
Nah.
That's not it. Okay.
Teen Post. It was Teen Post. It was called the Teen Post. Okay. It was called Teen Post. That's what it was. Teen Post. They had Teen Posts in different parks, and we go dance, party, hang out, do crafts, shoot caroms, not pool, shoot caroms, look like checkers, little wooden checkers and shit. And you go swim over there, and you get to meet people from different communities, and it just help you develop relationships outside your own hood. So if you saw somebody you liked over there, you wanted to date her, you ain't got to worry about getting jumped on. Oh, that's homeboy from Teen Post. He cool. Okay, they cut that shit out. Everybody became Crips and Bloods right behind that, boy. Everybody became Crips and Bloods after that. So you got all this.
Safe to say that we ruined that ourselves, then?
Say it again now?
Is it safe to say that we ruined that ourselves? Or did the government take it away?
The government took it away. Reagan cut all that shit out. He cut all. See, the program was gone. Everything was gone. Even the jobs that you can get fresh out of high school, because you can leave high school in June, on June 18th, and be working at General Motors on the 19th. It was like that, dude. A lot of youngsters had real jobs. Unknown used to work for Douglas Aircraft. Now I met him. He was 17. He had a job at Douglas. Okay, making good money. That was the deal back then. You could make a real man's living at 17, 18 years old, and if you kept your nose clean, you could retire from there at 45, 50 years old. Because that's once you got 20 years in, they were talking about go home. A lot of you had a tire shop. You had a Goodyear was on Florence and Central. You had General Motors had an office at a manufacturing spot in Downey. We went there for a field trip. You had the post office. You had all kind of jobs. You had the aircraft companies, and all those jobs got shipped out of California, out of the area, out of the hood. And even the same thing happened in Detroit. Detroit was big time. Was a big time blue collar.
Thank you, Steve. Good looking out. Bronx in the building.
Detroit was a big time car manufacturing city, and they took all them jobs and started breaking them off to different cities. And now Detroit is a barren land. Ain't nobody in there somewhere but snow and ragged ass houses. So yes, I think it was a plan. And then Detroit right behind that, here come crack. Here come crack. Here come crack.
Man, design.
We always had gangbangers. All my life, there's been gangs, but they were never the factor they became in the 80s and 90s. I was just telling a story of talking about to a friend of mine. We were talking about how many clubs they used to have back in the 80s and 90s, man. Well, in the 80s more so anything. And in the 90s, they started to fall off more and more in the 90s. Back in the day, any restaurant owner that had a liquor license after 9 o'clock, and they serve their last meal, maybe 10 o'clock, they take all the tables and chairs out, put them to the side, and they'd have dances in there, parties. All your El Chorritos, your not Red Robins. Damn it, what was it called? I met one of my favorite friends there. They had all kinds of restaurants that would just open up the doors and turn them into clubs. Okay.
Lakewood did that. There was one in Lakewood that did that.
Yeah, right there in Lakewood. I was a regular there, and when gangbanging came in, the liability factor went through the roof, and people stopped doing it. And at one time, we had over 100 clubs in LA, dude. You can go anywhere, any night of the week, and it wasn't a whole lot of money to go out. Drinks was reasonable, blah blah blah. Parking was no big deal. And because I worked on the weekends most of the time at Even After Dark, but I still wanted to get my grown folk party on. So me and Unknown go down to Marina Del Rey, Flanagan's, Osco's in Beverly Hills, or West LA, go to Paradise 24. And all these spots were something else, but every black folks had them on Thursdays or Wednesdays or Tuesdays. And sometimes there was restaurants that had just moved the tables out. My boy Edwin from Music People, that was his biggest business, was renting his speakers to restaurants like the Bit and Apple and the Highwaymen and the Playboy Club, because after a certain time, they moved the chairs back and started dancing. So it was big money it was big money. And you can go out and do this. But at some point in time, the liability of the ignorance that gangbanging brought to facilities made it too high risk. Even the Century Club, Dre talks about the Century Club in one of his songs. I go to the Century Clubs with my jeans on, bring some home to squeeze on or some shit like that. Well, Century Club is in the middle of Century City. All things money. And you got black folks acting a fool on Sunday night, because back then, Century Club would go down a whole 9 yards. And ain't nobody gonna get sued behind no bullshit. And that's the part that people don't understand. Most of the shit that we're dealing with is bullshit. I just watched a video on YouTube, people fighting in casinos. You think how long you think that's gonna last?
Not too long. That's gonna affect a lot of money.
Yes, okay. You got 4 or 5, no, you got about 10 or 15 youngsters, barely 21, fighting, hitting folks over the head with bottles in a casino. How long you think that's gonna last? You think casinos gonna go anywhere?
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, folks, understand the game. They're gonna take that situation right there and make it a major offense. You're gonna be stuck out there in the hot ass desert with no air conditioning. How about you got 6 months booed up?
Oh man, clowning, I love it.
Time for this one to come home.
All right, there you go.
Man, good stuff, dude. Yeah, you know what? I still trip on the fact that Compton at one time had a lot of black business owners and black businesses. Someone in the comments said something about that, but I know there are cities across the U.S. that are predominantly African American, but do you know if there are cities in the U.S. where there are majority African American business owners?
No. Atlanta, maybe Atlanta. Dude, one of the things that was crazy during the riots is a lot of the businesses that was being burned down was black businesses too. Okay. A lot of the businesses at some point in time, they didn't give a damn. Now, here's the crazy part. Now I ain't gonna say this was happening, but it was suspected a few people that I know that had businesses at that time, they might have set them on fire because I might not want to be here, in the aftermath. So I'm going, let me borrow some matches right quick and go and get this check. I'm gonna let somebody else run this right here. But because when you look at it, every time there was a riot, there was a shift in ownership of the businesses in the community. When the 65 riots jumped off, before then, it was predominantly Jewish in the black community. Tell you what I love, I was there, okay? And then when 65 riots jumped off, a lot of black businesses came in. The liquor stores, laundromats, restaurants, it was black businesses everywhere. That's when Compton was thriving. But when the 92 riots, even before the 92 riots, when crack came in and people started dying, people started selling. And for some reason, black folks don't know plexiglass like other folks do, because plexiglass wasn't even a thing back in the day. When other folks came in here, plexiglass went through the roof. Okay, and then so the SWAT meets. So I ain't calling nobody's name. I'm just telling you what I noticed. And then at some point in time, all the black folks either sold out or was ran out. You got a new crop of people coming in. Okay, and they ain't going for the bull. All right. So you had the Jewish community was there first. I remember all the grocery stores. My insurance man used to come to the house, knock on the door, collect that insurance money from my mama. Okay. Then when the 65 riots, I never saw him again. He disappeared. So did the grocery store. Okay. Then the other stores popped up around there. And then in 92, by the time 92 came around, it was pretty much predominantly others. I'm gonna put it like that. Others. All right. I don't want to seem racist, but it was others. And here, on the last, I've been through three uprisings, put it that way. And listen right here was the last one 2 years ago was probably the one that was most organized because they started across town first and they came back. I never understood, why would you tear up something that you want if you got to use it? You got to buy gas, food. Why are you going to tear up the one that you need the most? That's like me getting mad at you and tearing up my studio. Why would I want to do that? I'm so mad at Dusty, I'm going to tear up my studio, okay? Now, if it wasn't my studio, if it wasn't my equipment, I might feel that way. I'm going to tear up some stuff. It ain't mine no way. But if it's my stuff, that's the difference. That's the difference. If it's yours, you ain't going to tear it up. And you ain't going to let anybody else tear it up. That's why you saw people on the roofs with shotguns and rifles and AR-15s doing the Rodney King situation. They was on the roofs.
Man, I'll never get that image out of my head of the shootouts.
Yes, we ain't going for it. Okay, put the matches down and get out of here. Because if you do, I got something hot for your ass. All right, there you go, Dusty.
Yeah, man. Took a trip down memory lane.
Time for this one to come home.
I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout
Much
out
love,
to
folks.
Funky Fangs Productions, the homie Marlon Cozy always represents. See you on Saturday. I know you like those mix shows on my channel, Dusty Vision TV. Shout out to Rock BG. Shout out to American Negro. Thank you for holding down the chat room, American Negro. Definitely a pleasure. OG Steve, thank you so much, man, for the contribution tonight. Isaiah Edwards, happy birthday.
Much love,
everybody, man. I love these Saturday. I love these Tuesday shows, man. What's coming up on Thursday?
Oh man, it's me and Dr. Dre. We got a guest, one of the brothers from the show. Beverly Hills is going the Bel Air, the Will Smith knockoff show. He's gonna be one of our guests, and that's me and Dr. Dre and my girl Miss Bernadette. We'll be on there doing our thing, folks. So that's what we do.
That's gonna be dope. Always a pleasure, man. This hour always flies by, man.
Much love to everybody in the chat room. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for all the donations. I appreciate it. And Dusty, we out of here, Doc. Like yesterday's calendar.